Hello, and welcome back to episode 9 of Explorers of Elsewhere, Tales from Elsewhere, Sanctuary. My name is Nate. It's good to see you this evening, along with my 5 lovely players. Hello, Livy.
Hello.
Hello, Julia.
Hi.
Hello, Georgia.
Hello.
Hey, Theo.
Hello.
And hello, Dan.
Hi.
Yes, we are the Explorers of Elsewhere. If you haven't seen any of the episodes before this one, highly recommend it. There's about 9 other episodes, including a session 0, that you can watch to get you understanding what the hell is going on. But, you can watch it from here. Go for it. Have some fun. And if you do like this episode, we highly recommend that you give us a like. And if you're enjoying this channel, why not give us a little subscribe? And you can also give us a little hype as well if you fancy it, if you're feeling fruity. Might as well. There's lots of things. If you enjoy this episode and you want to know what happens next, episode 10 will be out like right now for members, which is very exciting because we haven't even recorded it yet. So it's always really interesting when we say it's right there. You can watch it as a member. You can sign up for as little as £2 a month, which really helps us on the channel. But if YouTube membership is not your thing, we've also got a Patreon, which also has the same benefits as also joining as a YouTube member. We also have a Discord, which is free for anyone to join. You can talk to us. We share art. We share talking stuff about TTRPGs. A couple of other people who have been in past campaigns also join in as well. Speaking of other campaigns, we are also playing, maybe at this time, we may be still playing Call of Cthulhu. I don't know whether or not it'll be finished yet. We're still playing Call of Cthulhu, which is live streamed on a Monday at 7:30 UK time. And we are playing Daggerheart. If you're interested in playing Daggerheart yourself, you can click on the affiliate link down below. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it gives us a little bit of kickback, which really helps with the channel. And that all being said, we now have a very interesting conversation to have with some royalty. 5 of you ready? Let's play that. Let's play that intro.
Hello, I'm Julia, and I play Lucretia, a Lorivar wizard.
Hi, my name is Theo, and I'll be playing Pally, a Wolfkin Seraph.
Hi, I'm Georgia, and I'll be playing Virgil, a Sangravar ranger.
Hi, my name is DM Dan, and I'm playing Mirden, a Wolfkin Guardian Druid.
Hi, I'm Livy, and I'll be playing Bo, the Dragon Scent Warrior.
And my name is Nate, and I'll be the GM for this adventure. So, the 5 of you standing in front of this gilded, brightly hot pink, almost garishly hot pink castle. Only the kind of thing that you can only imagine would come from the imagination of a child. But what you've just been through is not really of something that would come from a child, as you've just had to face off these rather tough sort of like bladed limbed robots that have been created to apparently protect the people of Sanctuary, but only to protect the people of Sanctuary and not 5 strangers who have happened to just show up out of nowhere. But with the fighting from the 5 of you, and including the charismatic charm of Bo to sort of wheedle his way into the princess's heart with a wooden carved unicorn, the robots have now been are laying now in scrap metal on the floor, as an artificer on the stage is sort of silently weeping after years of her work now just lay sort of like scrumpled on the ground.
It's a shame.
The tall Aquan sprite who has just addressed the lot of you has said that it's probably time that you have a chat, and she doesn't sort of like guide you in. The princess has climbed onto the back of the dragon spawn, and they have just, and she's kind of ridden her in like a steed back into the castle, and the very tall Aquan sprite, the unusually tall Aquan sprite, sort of looks up at you, Bo. Looks down at you. Looks down at you and kind of says, it might be worth you just getting a little bit, just clean yourself up a bit. When you're ready, you can come in. We just want to settle her down a bit, and then the five of you can come in as the three of them walk in. Not you. As the three of them walk back in and disappear. You can hear the sort of crowd now coming back out from their houses, as the people are sort of like wondering what the bloody hell has just gone on. And one thing you do notice, so Murden, Pally and Virgil, you're down on the ground with Kelvin and Rollo. They are looking at you as if, and Lucretia, if you're coming over as well, they're looking at you with just sort of like, with almost like new vigor in their eyes, as they then look at each other and just kind of nod in appreciation, in sort of equal appreciation of the fact that this is probably the first fight that they've been in for a good long time. But as they both look at each other, and probably the four of you in front of Kelvin, you start seeing a Lorivar woman start storming up behind Kelvin.
Oh dear.
And Kelvin kind of clocks the four of you looking, and he turns around himself, and he sees this Lorivar woman, probably around the same age as him, and he just kind of takes his sword and he sort of struggles to hide it around his back. And he's just like,
oh no,
he's just like, I was just doing my duty, as sheriff. I have to do this. And he is slapped round the face by this Lorivar woman. And she goes, you know how important this day was to Annabelle. You stay in the Lazy Dog for the time being. And she storms off again. And he just... and he sort of hangs his head and he rubs his cheek.
who was
And
that?
So I just thought Theo writing down in his notebook. Bitch. What was her name?
Bitch.
What was that
I actually
about?
wrote Annabelle down, but sure.
Kelvin looks like a bit like that joy that he was feeling just a moment ago has now
buddy.
gone.
Oh my god.
And he's just like, I'll go back to the Lazy Dog. And he sort of takes his sword and he's like, I'll see you five. I'll see you five later. You've got your meeting. There you go.
Kelvin. I sort of like call out to him.
Yeah. He looks around.
And I look over to Rala as well. Thank you.
Kelvin sort of nods and he continues walking back in the direction of the lazy dog, and he's sort of like no one's sort of like everyone's just sort of like moving out of his way as he sort of just moves back with his head held down. And Rollo sort of comes up to the four of you and he's going like, just a little bit of problems at home. That's why he's staying with us. You five go on ahead. We'll let us know how it gets on. And Rollo then sort of goes off and he goes off to find his family.
I say. Really on, was it?
Yeah. Bo's doing everything in his power to resist sitting on the very large chair.
Just ignoring the weeping artificer and considering the throne.
She's just like,
and he'll just call down to the rest of the party, just like, no, he was going to go Bristolian then.
You were. I do declare.
Well, I say, guys, we gotta get in and meet the princess. She said you guys need to clean up. She said I'm fine, but you guys. He just like spits on his palm and just greases back his little green mullet that he has underneath his hat.
Oh
And
no.
then puts his hat back on again.
Oh,
Kind of very easily over his horns. He's got a magic it on.
Does anyone need any healing? I have. That was rather a fight, I must say.
Just feeling a bit overwhelmed, that's all, which is code for. He's 5 out of 6 stress. So if anyone can clear stress, I can clear my own stress, but I can, it's fine.
No.
I don't think I can.
Cool.
Well, I'm like, if you ask this, Mirdan's actually just gonna start walking up the steps towards the large throne, and he's rubbing his hands together and effectively smearing the blood from the cuts where he like grabbed the blade arms. How's this Tinkerer Artificer lady doing?
she's just like, you could see that she's got slightly tears in her eyes, but she's also, you can see that she's deep in thought, just trying to work out why she couldn't get things to respond to her. And she's then sort of thinking like, well, if I do this next time, then maybe then it won't react in that sort of way. So maybe if it's oh, yeah, yes.
And there's a very, very stern look from Mirdan, and like with one of these bloody hands, he points. Why do they look like the things that attacked us? The things that brought us here?
Well, what do you mean, the things that brought you here? You mean the shadow swords?
I say nothing and just slightly nod.
Well, as I said, I just thought fight fire with fire. You know, like make them look like what they are, and then maybe, you know, they'll be able to fight each other. There was nothing. I just thought they looked good, and I thought that's what people wanted to just yeah.
Mirdan's face is puckering more and more, like his lips are curling the longer she talks, and then one of the mech starts vibrating slightly and scraping across the floor. And then like the pointing hand then becomes like a beacon, like a fist, and one of the rune stones that was lodged inside it bursts out and then returns to orbit around Mirden. I suggest you do better next time.
You can see her just look completely crestfallen. She's just like, oh, okay. As she proceeds to sort of touch the buttons on her wheelchair again, so the wheels go whoop, and then she can just sort of slightly hover herself down back onto the ground as she sort of wheels her then self back into the crowd.
Oh.
Bo just turns to Mid and always the constructive critic.
I nod sincerely.
I thought they did rather well, all things considering. I mean, we did nearly die.
Yeah, I mean, if we were intruders, they would do a pretty good job.
They are a good idea, but for a chief engineer to have no control over her product is not very reassuring, is it? It seems like the princess has a lot of control in this land.
Who'd have thought that there would be threat and danger from the ones in power not being able to control it? I say, looking at you, the arcane wizard.
Lucretia's just unmoved, so I didn't even register what you were getting at there. It's like, I've heard it's quite common in politics, but I don't know about these things. I'm a wizard. Shall we clean up? Go and see the princess?
Yep.
Yes.
So there are like a couple of guards that are standing by the door. A couple more sort of like automatons that are standing by the door, but they just hold. They have been told that you are going into the castle, and they are just holding the door for you. So as the five of you and Brother Talons sort of make your way through these bright blue doors, you're greeted in this sort of like this immaculate, pristine, sparkling sort of like entranceway, and it's something that you can again sort of only imagine that comes from fairy tales, from the ginormous imagination of what little girls believe big castles with big ballrooms get. Massive sort of like curving staircases that go up onto a second floor. The floor tiles sort of shimmer almost like stars. There are curtains that are grouped around, and also there's sort of like clouds that also sort of just like flutter around as butterflies also flutter in between these clouds, sort of morphing them into strange shapes of animals. And in the middle of this hallway to greet you is this. I'll bring up her picture again. Why not? Why not?
Treat us.
Treat ya. Is the Aquan Sprite who you saw outside.
The Aquan Sprite? Question mark?
There you go.
Aquan mother.
Very tall.
The very
mummy.
tall Aquan Sprite. As she kind of holds her hands sort of like in front of herself, you notice that the Dragonspawn and the princess are no longer in the room. And she says, I do apologize for that situation, and I commend you on your bravery for being able to resolve the situation very quickly. My name is Lady Rondonisa. I am the princess's head advisor. I know very well that the 5 of you are obviously not from Sanctuary, and this is very big news to us. It means that there is an elsewhere, you would say. And she sort of lifts up one of her hands and she beckons you into another room, and she says, please, you must be tired and you must be thirsty and hungry. I've prepared some tea and some food in the drawing room, and we can talk. I'm sure you have a lot of questions, as do I. As she sort of waves you into one of the side rooms.
Yeah, just follow on in.
Just following in. Yeah, she guides you in, and as you come into this drawing room, you notice that it's actually like a lot more almost elegantly decorated. Like this doesn't have like the gaudy sort of bright pinks and blues and purples that have been around everywhere else. It's more sort of like a very sort of it's a very white room with bookcases and sofas, very elegantly decorated, and it's been decorated by an adult. Basically, this is the meeting room where the adults come into, and Lady Rondonisa, she sort of points to the chairs sort of like around you, and you see sort of like in the middle there is tea, and there's cakes, and there's sandwiches, all with the crusts cut off, very nicely played up on sort of like built up plates, and probably you, Lucretia, who is very fond of like a cup of tea.
Oh yeah.
You actually notice that this tea looks like normal tea. It's not brightly orange like the tea that you had at Aldas's house. This tea looks and smells just like normal tea.
Right.
And she just gestures for you to take a seat on anywhere of the seats as she sort of sits down with you. And she says, well, as I said, you've obviously got a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. You will have to forgive me. It's been a while since and she looks directly at you, Lucretia, and she says, like, it's been a while since we've seen, and maybe even back at Virgil as well. She said, it's been a while since we've seen magic displayed like that.
Oh. The princess is not a practitioner of magic?
Well, she is, but not obviously in an aggressive sort of way.
Of course. Forgive us for that little display. It was purely self-defense, you understand?
Oh no, I can completely understand.
Yes. Well, and she sort of looks around at the party and says, fire away.
Well, I guess my first question is, where have the 5 of you come from? What lays beyond our land?
We started out in Avamore, but then we were sent to a
Falstrom.
Yes, a small town called Falstrom.
Falstrom.
You are familiar with it?
Not entirely. I know only from what I've read in books. You see, I was only but a little girl when we came here.
But you know the city of Solomani?
Yeah, of course. That is where obviously our dear princess was part of the High House.
Falstrom is close by. We were sent there on a different mission entirely. Gosh, I'm getting ahead of myself. We are explorers of elsewhere.
Okay.
We are a band of adventurers who have been employed to reassemble our understanding elsewhere after the events which led to the creation of Sanctuary, amongst other things. We call it the Eschaton.
Oh.
It was a great disaster for many. So we are exploring and remapping the world. We were sent to Falstrom and we ended up here.
Okay. Well, may I ask, was it what exactly did bring you here? Like, was it your own magic? Was it some other magic?
We were attacked by shadow children, which what I think people are calling shadow swords. And
And this was in your own elsewhere.
yes,
She sort of thinks a bit, and she's like, that means they're finding a way out of Sanctuary. This could be very dangerous.
could you tell us more about them? Sorry.
After you, Virgil.
We have reason to believe that they've attacked other people in our elsewhere, as it were. They've left them in a comatose state. Is that something you've witnessed? We're quite eager to see them uncomatosed.
My goodness, yes, that is unfortunately what these shadow swords do. They're able to they're basically able to absorb all manner of essence from a person, their magic, their mana, however you call it, the very spirit, the very being from a person to power something much greater that we're unaware of yet. And so that's why we have Sanctuary, not only to keep the people safe, but to keep the princess safe. Of course, you've noticed that her magic is quite unwieldy, as you would say. She can power those machines like nothing, and she can power this world like it's nothing. Which is no magic that I have ever seen. She can do this to me, and she kind of goes all to herself. She just kind of brushes her hands. Obviously, you all know of sprites not being the height that I am. This was my gift from her.
And so you have a child who was chosen in the friendship ceremony?
Oh no, I was a child who was chosen in the friendship ceremony.
Oh.
I was her very first friend.
How delightful.
And because of that, I became her closest friend and then her closest confidant. Obviously, I grew too old for us to be true friends, but I wanted to continue to look after her. I wanted to continue to watch over her.
Of course.
And so I now act for her as an advisor. I think very fondly of her,
Of course you do.
as if she was my own sister.
A very powerful sister who never ages. How very unique a situation.
Yes, I will say that it is very unique. But that's the reason why we bring other children in, so she can continue being a normal child. She can have friends, she can have fun, and along with that, she is able to bestow gifts onto them. We are able to give their families gifts. They live with us here in the palace for a couple of years, and we give them all they could ever wish for. And then unfortunately when they do get too old, we have to ask them to leave, but they can carry on their lives in safety and happiness with their families in Sanctuary.
It all seems rather harmonious and lovely to hear you speak of it.
Well, we try our best. Obviously, everyone has been through so much since the eschaton, as you call it, and we want to just keep it. And still, there are such dangers outside, but we want to keep them safe.
No.
Have you never tried to leave this place? It seems you've had quite some time, and you are capable of a great many things, surely.
Well, this is what we've been trying to work on. We didn't even know if there was more of an Elsewhere out there. All we've ever known is Sanctuary and the Void. But when we have gone to try and explore further out, obviously you understand that these shadow swords and even greater adversaries out there have made it difficult for us to venture forth. And while we do have many an old soldier here who could probably fight for us, we don't want to put them in that danger, because we know how powerful these creatures are. Hence why we have the robots. They can go out for us to gauge their power and to hopefully destroy them for us.
The shadow swords. Any knowledge or ideas of what they are, where they came from?
They were here from the very start. They have been here as long as I remember, and as far as the much more older people in Sanctuary, who much more older than me when we came here, they just know that they have always been here. But with the 5 of you here, we now know that there's a way that we can harness the shadow swords in a way for us to leave Sanctuary.
Is that something people would want?
Well, I guess this is also the thing as well. It would have to come to a vote. But obviously this world can be, this land was created by the princess. We don't know what would happen to her if she was to leave this place. What would happen to all of us?
But surely to refuse to answer this question would be to... There are a lot of people that live here. You're making a decision for a lot of people.
Unfortunately, that feels like a burden that we as a court have to bear. Because until we are completely sure how us leaving Sanctuary will affect us, we can't risk it until we are fully sure.
This requires research and study.
Exactly. And I was wondering if the 5 of you would be able to assist in that research and study. Have you 5 heard of the Traitors' Camp?
Yes.
It's been mentioned in passing, yeah.
I would like for you, if the 5 of you would accept it, to venture to their camp, to infiltrate it if you can, quietly. I'm not asking you to do the same as you've done to our robots, but they have a mage there. One of the very few other people besides from the princess who has some element of magic in this world. And I know that they have elements of knowledge that might be beneficial for us, that I feel like they're holding from us. If you are able to infiltrate their camp, find a way to gain this information and bring it back to me, then we might be able to find a way to get the 5 of you home, and the way for us to be able to see whether leaving Sanctuary is a safe option for us.
And this mage is called...
Unfortunately, I am unaware of her name. I have only heard of tales about her.
Any distinguishing features, or any way we might recognise on sight?
Oh, I will recognise a fellow mage, Pally, from a
Sure.
1,000 yards, I assure you.
Lady Rondonisa sort of smiles at that and says, I'm glad to hear that. Yes, I know. All I know is that she left Sanctuary when I was much younger. So I unfortunately do not know how she looks like.
Very well.
Infiltration work is very dangerous. It's very costly.
Well, I mean, there's not much we can offer. And unfortunately, yes, there's not much we can really barter with, besides from helping you to return back to your elsewhere.
Well, how do we know that this secret knowledge this mage has, you're going to take it and then you're going to close the portal to elsewhere? It seems like you want to stay exactly as is.
Well, unfortunately, it seems like why would I be bluffing? And also, are you really in a place to be questioning me on that?
Question whoever I want to question, lady. But I don't know. Everything I've seen in this place, I don't trust any of it.
But Bo, remember, you don't trust anything or anybody. So maybe we can, just proceed with caution on this one.
I'm saying we'll proceed with caution, but caution comes at a cost.
I'm sure we can negotiate price when we get back.
Maybe a little blessing from a princess or something.
Well, I
Bo
mean,
wants his
she's.
I want those horse legs.
I mean, she's taken quite a shining to you. She was very pleased with the unicorn, so thank you. It's always nice to see her calm down when she gets into states like that. So thank you.
Well, that's okay.
A little blush on those cheeks.
Well, I guess maybe we will go infiltrate a camp and go find a mage. I don't know.
Mom will.
Maybe she'll give me tall legs and I can be as tall as you tall drink of water.
She smiles and goes like, well, I'm glad that we're on the same page. You are more than welcome to rest up here for the time being, please enjoy some tea and some food. And when you are ready to head off, we'll be able to supply you with anything that you might need for your journey. I also hear that you found an explorer bot out
Yeah,
in
where
the,
is our
out in the
explorer bot?
woods.
Is he still here?
He's not here.
There he is.
Hello.
Hello.
She says, Lainey has told me that she has taken back the Explorer bot, but you are more than welcome to go and talk to her and reclaim this Explorer bot, and he'll be able to help you out in the direction that you need to go.
Oh boy.
We
Don't
love
think she wants to-
Explorer.
Don't think she wants to see our faces very soon again, but
Oh, I'll go talk to her. It's fine.
enjoyed all her babies.
Yeah, she seems like a sensible gal. We'll go talk to her. It's fine.
Lady Rondonisa sort of stands up and she says, if you can excuse me, I have other business to attend to.
Before
as I said, you are more than welcome.
she leaves, or just as she leaves, can Virgil
Yeah.
put a hand sort of very gently on her arm, just to inquire. The coma you say these shadow creatures can perform. Is there any way for it to be reversed?
She looks at you and says, unfortunately, we've not been able to find a way. We've lost quite a few good people through them. They just ended up there without the basic essence in their bodies. They just unfortunately just faded away after days. So
I see.
we've not been able to find a way to cure them, unfortunately, hence why we do the next best thing and just protect everyone from them.
Well, by the Golden's grace, I shall find a way.
She looks at you and goes, who?
He'll just reach into his cloak and he'll bring out a leaf and he'll press into her hand.
She'll take the leaf and she'll look at it, and it's obvious that she's really studying it. Like, I'm guessing it's just a regular gold, like a regular
It's just
green
a regular
leaf.
leaf, but it is a leaf from the elsewhere that we have come from, rather than the elsewhere that she.
She looks at it, and she then sort of takes it with her, and she's like, "Thank you. Please excuse me." And she wanders off.
Why do I feel like I've just done a
Leaves the
really
five of you in
bad
this
thing? Why do I feel that? I may regret that.
Just what we needed to create the multi-bomb. Genetic material from elsewhere.
So, Lady Rondosina will remember this in the corner. So,
Yeah. Oh my.
your actions have consequences. It's a lady.
I think we should forget all about that because that's not important and will definitely not come back to bite us. And I think we should go find Lainey and get our explorer back,
And head on off. Head on out.
and then head on off. Yeah. Sorry, Livy.
And have a cup of tea.
Oh yeah, we haven't had a cup of
Yeah.
tea. I help myself.
Because
You are more than welcome to have a short rest
Please,
while you are
thank
here.
you.
Cup of tea. Short is a short
Cup of
rest.
tea.
Yeah,
Cup
cup of
of
tea,
tea.
short rest.
Yeah. But
What does a short rest do?
It's the knife and fork at the top of your character sheet, and you
Yeah.
can do
Yeah.
2 moves. You could do tend wounds, clear stress,
Ooh.
empowerment.
I'm gonna clear stress. I have no wound.
2.
So yeah, you'll roll. It's like a D4 plus your tier.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cup of tea.
Who would like to prepare with me?
I'll prepare with you. I will,
Okay.
because I can do 3.
Amazing.
So
Okay, amazing. I'm happy to have a little golden exclamation mark above my head if you want to natter during the prepare.
yes. Cool. I'm just preparing my armor, preparing all the things. Great.
Preparing all the things.
Yes, in terms of preparing, I guess, if Mirrodin and Pally are kind of putting their heads together about how to deal with the Traitors' camp, maybe? Like, are they going in, infiltrating it softly, sneaky approach, or are they going there pretending that they've been cast out? Like, that's maybe the kind of mission that Pally's having, saying no in advance before they arrive. Like, what's the best strategy here?
Out of character hat on, what have we been told about the traitor camp by like Rollo and Kelvin and co?
You have been. So most of what you know at the moment about the traitors camp is that this is where people are sort of outcasted for not believing that what the princess does is for everyone's good.
Okay.
The doubters.
Okay, in which case, yeah, if you're asking
Haters.
the best way forward, yes.
The haters camp. Yeah.
The impression I get is that the term traitor is used somewhat flippantly. There is a part of me that imagines that these so-called traitors would have no quarrel with us once they know that we are not from this place. Perhaps we could be as brazen as just walking straight in.
It's true.
If we impress upon them that we mean no harm and we have little ties to this place, they may be considerably more welcoming than how they've been described as reacting to the others off Sanctuary.
We might need to be careful about the Explorer bot then. If it's leading us, that might give us away.
Potentially.
Well,
But if
Virgil.
it does...
Apologies.
Go on.
I was just going to suggest that perhaps Virgil would be an obvious choice to put at the front of the group, given the people here have never seen Sanguivar before. They would know that Virgil could be of Sanctuary.
Yes, of course. Sometimes I forget all about. I suppose I am quite an oddity.
Only here, Virgil. And it is just a suggestion.
And the rest
perhaps
of the world.
Well, perhaps Explorabot should stay out of sight to begin with.
Agreed. And Virgil, if it does go to... If everything does go to hell, I'm sure Pally here is more than happy to swing that axe arm of his.
I can, if needed. Prefer to not do it if, I'd rather make more allies here than enemies.
I'm sure they'll see how friendly we are and that we mean them no harm, and it'll all be fine. I think behind him, or like on his head, Brother Talons is like fluffed up.
Still with like bits of robot in its mouth.
Spitting out wires.
Brilliant.
Okay, yeah. Pally, after we discuss this, I'm gonna clap you on the shoulder and
You did well.
Thank you. It was great to work with you with that. Oh, it was great. It was. Thanks. I'm out now. Just gonna stare into the middle distance, realizing that he's being weird. Yeah.
The lip begins extending the more you do. Yes.
Thank you.
Shall we drop in on
two-
Lainey?
Cool. So are you all leaving the castle and off to go see Lainey?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
As the five of you and Brother Talons, as the six of you sort of make your way out of this drawing room, these guards have sort of left the door open. You walk out back into this, like, it's almost like after you've been in actually quite sort of like a nicely decorated, quite posh looking drawing room, to come back out into this very garish, like childlike hall again. But from the one of the distant rooms, sort of like not too distant, sort of like in the background, you hear sort of like the small tinklings of a music box, just sort of like playing like a soft tune that someone. Let's have a look here. Could everyone roll me a knowledge roll, everyone? Or actually, just a reaction roll, a knowledge roll for that.
How do we do a knowledge reaction?
So when
arrow
you bring
thing,
it up,
I got
there'll
it.
be
I got
that's the
it.
one.
Okay. 22 with
Roll.
4.
So I
I
rolled
don't
6.
think hold. Let me refresh my page.
Don't
because
ever
I don't
come.
think
Yeah,
I don't think I'm seeing
crashed,
anyone's
I'm not sure.
rolls.
Mearden and Virgil, heads empty.
No thoughts.
I don't see
Only
no
nature.
thoughts.
And
And
Pally.
Pally, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lucretia, you got
22 with hope.
26.
Oh, sorry, just 22.
22.
Oh, mine
Pally
rolled
got
twice.
6.
Take the lower one. 13.
Okay, so you got a 13 with hope, 8 and a 4. So
Lucretia, you are our
Yeah,
single
the-
brain cell.
I mean, that checks
The-
out.
We knew that already.
Yeah.
I mean, all of you can hear this music box, but Lucretia, you probably know the song that comes from it. Being, even though you're sort of like a Lorivar yourself, you've been around high society as an academic, and you recognise this song as almost like a sort of pre-war lullaby that you've known people to sing to their babies and children back in the day, and it's just softly coming from one of the rooms in the back.
Oh, that's rather. I know that tune. I think she'd start to follow it.
Yeah. Is it just yourself, or is anyone
Well-
joining Lucretia?
I'll follow Lucretia if I might notice like where's she going. Yeah.
Pally, you're young. You've heard this song before, surely.
If I have, it's been a long time. I'm not great with music's not my forte.
Yeah, Pally, with your 6, and probably as a young boy, you and sort of more nomadic life with your family, you probably wouldn't have heard this song. It's a little bit too fluffy for your Wolfkin
Sure.
family to have probably sung to you.
I mean, it's nice. I just don't. Sorry,
Oh,
I don't know it.
you were deprived as a child, dear boy. And she carries on towards the door that she hears coming from.
As the two of you go back into this room, you, two of you sort of, the doors open and the two of you peek round, and you notice that there's it's sort of like for how big the palace is, this room is very cozy, and it's filled with just sort of like drapes and blankets and pillows, and someone's made this out into like a small, almost like a small pillow fort in a way, and there's a very dim light that sort of comes out from the blankets that you can see shining. And inside this little blanket fort that has been made, you can see like this music box, and in the music box is the silhouette of sort of like, well, a little model of like a small woman holding onto the head of, like, sort of cradling the head of this dragon that sort of sits there as it twirls round, as it sort of goes with the twinkling of this music box. And sitting there looking at the unicorn, carved unicorn that Bo had earlier on, is the princess. And she's sitting there just sort of like looking at this unicorn, sort of just like sort of trailing over the marks around its mane as she listens to this music box.
Ooh. I think Lucretia would probably beckon Bo to come, and she would step back and allow him to speak to the princess if he wishes to.
Yeah, Bo will come over. Just put this little head. Just doorway. Just around the doorway. Hey, kid.
The princess looks up and she's just like, "Oh, hello."
Hey, how you doing, little lady?
She's like, "Oh, I'm okay. Thank you again." And she sort of shows you the.
Oh, you're looking
horse.
after
Thank you
Dusty.
for Dusty.
I don't think we've been formally introduced. Just a little takes his hat off again, does a little bow. My name's Beauregard Flint, and you are.
She giggles and she smiles and she gets up and she sort of pats herself down and she does like the biggest curtsy that she can. She goes, my name is Princess Rejoice."
Rejoice, what a beautiful name.
She's just like, you're new here, aren't you?
Well, yeah, we just came a visiting.
She nods and she's kind of going like, that's cool.
We heard that's the biggest, pinkest castle in all of Sanctuary, and we thought, wow, we gotta have a look at that.
She kind of looks at you really oddly and she goes, and then giggles and said, "That's because it's the only castle."
Oh. Well, that'd be why it's the biggest, pinkest one then, wouldn't it?
She sort of laughs again and then she kind of sits down, and she's just like, are you going to be staying around for a while? Do you want to live here?
I should hope so. I mean, I've got I've got things to attend to back at my home. I gotta see my data. It's gonna cause some trauma.
She kind of looks down at Dusty again, and she doesn't kind of say anything, and you can see her sort of just like eyeing at the music box and then looking back down at Dusty again.
That's a pretty song.
She's like, yeah. She's like, my mother gave it to me. And, like, Rondonisa says, if I ever feel like lonely or scared, if I just play it, then my mother's always protecting me. She's always looking down on me and protecting me.
Well, that Ronda Rousey, that's WWE, that's a UFC. So she said Ronda Rousey. That's just the lady of my dreams. Not quite Rousey. What's
Lady
Rondanisa.
Rondanisa.
Yeah.
Lady Rondanisa. Don't know. She could put me in a thigh lock if she wanted to.
Oh, yeah, she could.
Yeah.
Off the train of thought. She's got some bruise on her. That Rondanisa, that's very true. And now, if you ever got some worries, you can tell Dusty about them.
She's like, thank you. And she kind of looks back, and before you can say another thing, you just hear this as this looming shadow of the dragon spawn sort of is behind
Oh,
you.
well, fancy seeing you here.
She's like, the princess has other things she needs to be getting on with, if you do not mind.
It's party pooper here, but I'll see you soon, little lady. Just another little bow. And just
Princess Rejoice, she giggles again, and she gets up and she again sort of curtsies at the lot of you, and leaves with this dragon spawn.
right, off we go.
Lucretia just sort of eyes you up as you come out of the room back into the corridor and says, you're full of surprises, Mr. Flint.
Yeah, I just see my magic trick earlier.
Yes, that among other things. No, very well done. Yeah.
Right. So as the five of you are allowed out of the castle, you are heading off down back into Sanctuary. You have accumulated quite the crowd. There is now a crowd sort of standing outside who are interested. Rumours have now gone around that says, like, who are these people who have come into Sanctuary as a sort of like a storm of people almost sort of come up to you with a plethora of questions, kind of going like, who are you? Where have you come from? Where are you? Who are you? And as you're sort of stopped by this sort of wave of people, we will end it there.
Oh. Ting.
Meanwhile, in Sanctuary, Tuckus is sitting in a rocking chair, with his eyes closed and sort of humming like a small tune to himself as he rests his hands on his stomach. His ears then suddenly sort of prick up, and you can see his face sort of look around, and he's like, well, don't think I've ever heard your face before. Now, calm down, boy. There's no need to rush into that. Oh, my, you're a chatter, aren't you? Blimey. Well, what was that? Look after your friend? Well, we're getting all the visitors now, aren't we? Well, I'm sure we can make him at home. As this voice then suddenly stops in his head, and he hears this as he then hears a thump of a body that's right in front of him on this porch. And he kind of turns his head as his vision is blurry, as sort of like a tall, slender figure sort of stands up. And he says, well, another stranger. Welcome to Sanctuary. As a tall Asavar man with sanguine gems sewn into his eyeballs looks around and he goes, "Where am I?"
Are you kidding?
We'll end it there.
No!
So if you've enjoyed that, why not give us a like? Why not give us a follow? If you really want to know what happens in episode 10, you can watch it right now. It's part of the members and it's part of our Patreon. So if you want to watch episode 10 right now, you can do that. It's only £2 a month. You can join our Discord as well and find out what the bloody hell that was all about. But you might find out more if you go back and watch campaign 3.
Just
you might
watch
find
all
a
of
little
it.
bit more about that. Just watch all of it. And while you're at it, you can watch all the other campaigns. We're playing Call of Cthulhu at the moment in the Cult of the Lamb setting on our streams every Monday at 7:30. You can join our Discord. It's free, and you can have a chat with us. There's an affiliate link. If you're enjoying Daggerheart and you want to play it yourself, you can buy it down below from Drive-Thru RPG. It doesn't cost you anything more, but it gives us a little bit of kickback, which is really good. Yeah, I think that's it. We'll be back again next Thursday with episode 10. As I said, if you want to watch it beforehand, it's part of our members thing, but we'll be back again Thursday, 7:30 if you want to watch episode 10. We'll see you next time.
You dog,
Bye-bye.
Nathan.